camera, but admitted, it looks like something I would have done. I guess we were hoping that putting the painting on a record cover would get her attention, the real Tamara, at least enough for her to call a lawyer and threaten us with a lawsuit for using her art without permission. So we could pay her. But it didn't work. We heard nothing, not even a peep. We didn't even hear from George Lucas, and I was sure we'd at least get a cease and desist letter for naming our album Star Wars. We even had backup artwork done so we could change the name of the record to Cease and Desist in the event he went after us. Nope, no such luck. At this point, you're probably wondering, is this whole book going to be like this? Is he going to spend the whole time over-explaining kitschy cat art? Maybe. It's too soon to say, really. Sorry if that wasn't what you were expecting. If that is what you were expecting, well, kudos. That's impressive. You might also be thinking, speaking of cats, I bet there is a really elaborate and interesting explanation for why Wilco put a Persian or possibly British long-hair cat on an album cover. First of all, thank you for assuming that. Let me answer your question by not really answering it. The cat painting, as I mentioned, is on display at the Loft, where I and the other Wilco members go to play and sometimes record music, so it's something we see every or almost every day. But the Loft is a big space with a lot of art. The cat painting is in the kitchen, so we only see it during lunch and snack breaks, in between jamming. Yes, that is how professional musicians talk. Would anyone care to do some jamming? Why, yes, let's jam. Then jam we shall. In the recording space, mounted on the console, are framed and signed black and white photographs of Bob Newhart and Don Rickles. They're the centerpieces of the room. Both of them are signed to Wilco, but only Don's signature is still visible. Newhart's signature has disappeared. I don't mean faded, it's gone, vanished. His handwriting has been eradicated by the power of sad mid-tempo rock. I know that's not a satisfactory explanation, but that's the best I can do. Between the Newhart and Rickles portraits is an equally amazing photo, also signed, of Rich Kelly and Friendship. If you're unfamiliar with this New Jersey ensemble, I want you to do something for me. Go to the nearest device with internet connectivity, direct your browser to YouTube, and search for Rich Kelly and Friendship, and I'd like to teach the world to sing. Then watch it, in its entirety. But if you're in a hurry, fast forward to the 1:35 mark, when the bassist breaks into a happy foot solo. Everything about this video, but especially the dancing, makes me happy. I love how the guitarist moves his microphone stand out of the way, suggesting that the bassist's happy feet freak out is entirely expected. I love how they shout his name after it's over, Tom Sullivan, confirming yet again that yes, this was a solo and not just the exact moment when Tom Sullivan's diet pills kicked in. This isn't just a grainy video of the best lounge act you never knew existed until right now. It's nothing short of magical realism. I never studied art theory, so I don't know if this is technically accurate, but it certainly seems like magical realism to me, as it's something that really happened, and it's fucking magical. That framed photo of Rich Kelly and Friendship in matching tuxedos, along with the portraits of Don Rickles and Bob Newhart it's sandwiched between, is a defining tableau at the Loft. You might even call it the holy trinity of our recording space. You can't ignore it or pretend it isn't there. Not with all those sets of eyes following you. It'd be like walking into Italy's Basilica of St. Clair Church and not noticing the San Damiano cross. Of course you notice it. It's a huge, historically significant crucifix on the wall. That's the same feeling we want people to have when they enter the Loft. You stare up at Bob, Don, and Rich like you might gaze up at the San Damiano cross, with hushed reverence and mouth agape in wonderment at the awesome, unknowable infinitude of the universe. That's what we were looking at when we made the Star Wars album. Every song, every note,